It really doesn't matter what sport it is, huh? This is where we're at. Welcome in to the Arizona State PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony Totri, and it's time for the very first walk of shame for this college basketball season because Arizona State fell to Mississippi State 71-56. It's a part of that shit Barstool Sports Invitational. Jacob Franklin is joining me behind the Mac. We're going to be talking about whatever the fuck that was, what needs to happen in terms of fixing this before that Saturday game against Texas Southern. The answer to that question is a whole hell of a lot. We are going to get into some new segments that we have for you guys, and then some of the favorites, aftertaste, bottle service, by the numbers, all the fun stuff. But just get into the instant reaction of this game. Drop your guys' instant reaction in the comments. Let me know how you guys are feeling. This was certainly a tough one for Arizona State fans, specifically because, let's be real, this was the very first game for Arizona State this season, and the first game coming off of that Bobby Hurley extension. I don't know if you could have had a worse opening night than Arizona State did. Again, losing by 15 points. The offense mustered, 18 points in that first half? It was absolutely putrid. Now, one thing I will say, and we'll get into it as we go along, that Barstool broadcast, from everything that I was hearing and seeing and reading on social media in terms of the way that they were talking about the players because of their bets on Arizona State, it's not something that you can really afford to have. Now, let's be real, though, when you're talking about this team, the expectation was you're fielding a bunch of new players with the expectation that they're going to be able to come out and show some sort of chemistry, some sort of rhythm. That's not what we saw. Everything I saw on Twitter, every conversation I had about this team when it came to the scrimmages where they beat San Diego State, a San Diego State team that was playing in the college basketball championship game. They beat San Jose State in an awesome fashion. Kamari Lands was scoring buckets. Jamiya Neal was going for 30-plus games. And then you come out here, opening night, and I'll be real, doesn't even feel like it was the same team. I was talking with Jacob right after the game. It doesn't feel like this team is practiced together.
But this is what you've come to expect from ASU basketball. No. I get it. It's frustrating.
I'm so
but
mad.
I texted our good friend Big Pokey during the game, and I said it's the same shit every year. All the hype. They can't shoot.
It's game one. That's where I have to be. That's where I have to be right now. Danny in the chat, the Barstool commentators were terrible. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be totally real with you guys. We had the game on mute the entire time because I didn't want to hear that BS. Chris in the chat, Zane Meeks and Bryson Long play and you go undefeated. I'm with you, dude. I'm absolutely with you. And JJ in the chat, help me. LTC, is the Gaffney experience finally over? LTC, I'm going to flip that question on you. Did it ever really begin? The answer to that question is no, buddy. It never really did. Let's go ahead and get into the numbers of this one. Obviously, the only one that matters is that final score. Arizona State falling to Mississippi State 56-71. In terms of the way these two teams shot from the field, Mississippi State 40%, the Sun Devils 32.1%. This is a big one. Shooting from behind the arc, Arizona State was disgusting and not in a good way. They were putrid from behind the arc, 23.8% to Mississippi State's near 40% clip, 38.5%. The way these teams shot from the free throw line, pretty similar. 17 of 25 for the Sun Devils, 17 of 22 for the Bulldogs. And then these turnover numbers, Arizona State's defense, one bright spot, I guess. They forced 15 turnovers to Mississippi State's 10. The defense was there at times. Jacob turning me in the game where
you know what's crazy?
They had a shot.
This is a sub 10-point game if they make all their free throws. The fact that they played as bad as they did, and if they make, hell, even if they make 5 more free throws, it's a 10-point game.
That's something, though, that was an issue for this team last season, was being able to shoot from the charity stripe, which I'm going to be so real, dude. And I get it. I get there's going to be people that come at me that be like, oh, you couldn't do it. You're right. I couldn't, but I don't get paid to do that. There are some players on that roster quite literally got NIL because they're good at basketball, right? We can say that now. So make your damn free throws. There is no reason why you should miss 8 free throws. They're literally called free throws, dog. They're free. They're from the exact same spot every time. Please, if I'm asking for anything throughout the remainder of this season, it's that this team shoot from the charity stripe better than anybody else, right? Because that's a way that you make this really bad game look not so bad. Like Jacob said, you sink all your free throws in this one, you lose by less than 10. It's a 7-point game if you make all your free throws. Like, that is something that should absolutely change moving forward. It's something that needs to improve moving forward. Getting to JJ's comment, look, just fast forward a few months. Hurley and the boys will be jumping in the pool. We'll be in Dayton. We'll make the tourney by way of an 11 seed. It's the ASU way. Dude, that hit me. That hit me way too hard because I feel like I've seen that movie, that Netflix.
It's game 1 and we're already just like, this team's an 11
seed. Dayton, baby! Are you kidding me? Let's go. Levi in the chat. Meeks and Long got to play more. Cannot play Gaffney or Perez. Defense will be worse, but they can make
The
shots.
other thing that's always bothered me about this team.
Let's hear it.
They've never had, like, at times they have, but recently they've never had that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guy that's like, oh, your whole offense is shutting down. Here's that guy that's going to get you through. Everybody thought it was going to be Marvin Bagley or Marcus Bagley. Everybody thought it was going to be him. Yeah. It wasn't. You didn't really, Frankie wasn't really that guy.
Well, let's get into that.
When was the last guy?
When was the last guy? The last guy was Remy Martin. The last guy, in my personal opinion, was Dez. You could argue
Rob Edwards.
You could argue Dez Cambridge was that guy where you needed a bucket and he was going to go get it last season.
That's fair.
But let's be real. This team, the big storyline going into this season, right, was Jamiya Neal. Jamiya Neal's improvement was absolutely the storyline going into this game. The expectation was that he was your certified bucket getter going into this year. Why? Des Cambridge, gone. Devin Cambridge, gone. DJ Horn, gone. New roster. Frankie Collins, not necessarily a major scorer. Jose Perez, you don't know what you're going to get. Adam Miller, a.k.a. Ace Wolf, not actually able to play yet because of that waiver. So, Jamiya Neal, the guy who dropped 35 points in one of those preseason scrimmages, the expectation was Jay Neal was going to be your guy tonight. What did Jamiya Neal do tonight? Well, he had 5 points on 2 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from the three-point land, 3 boards, 4 assists, 2 turnovers. Not good enough. Not good enough. If you are the certified bucket getter, and I'm going to be harsh on it, dude, like, I'm tired of hearing that this is the guy. And I'm not saying Jamiya. I'm saying I am tired of every single offseason, football, basketball, baseball, hockey. This is the guy. I'm tired of it. I'm done listening. I am done listening to people telling me, oh, this is the guy. This is the guy. I'm done listening to teammates tell me, this is the guy. This is the guy. You're going to go out there, whoever you are, and you're going to make a difference.
I want to know.
I don't care. I don't care if it's a star. I don't care if it's a bench player. Zane Meeks and Bryson Long, like everybody is saying in the chat, they played better than your starting guards tonight, in my personal opinion. Absolutely. You look at what those guys did. Out of the starters, Jamiya Neal, again, 5 points. Jose Perez, 5 points. Sean Phillips, 6 points. Frankie, 10. Kamari Lands was your 13. Kamari Lands, again, the expectation in my mind was Kamari was probably going to be the second best player on this team going into this season. Tonight, he was the best player on the court, but he can't be the only one. We saw it last year. This team is not good. They don't win games when Frankie Collins is forced into a scoring role. Frankie thrives. Arizona State thrives when Frankie Collins is able to facilitate this offense. But there wasn't any offense tonight. It was one-on-one basketball that ended up resulting in Arizona State turning over the ball or taking bad shots. It cannot be the same damn script every single time. We need to see improvement, right? We need to see Jamiya Neal take that step this year. We need to see Kamari Lands go out there and be that guy. I need to see Sean Phillips Jr., a 7-footer with ridiculous athleticism. Show it. I need it. I need it in my veins if I'm going to survive this basketball season.
Poster.
Huh?
He had a poster.
He had a poster, and then that was it. There was nothing else.
Emphasis on the A.
One. Then there was nothing else, right? Like, you have to absolutely be a team, and I didn't see a team out there tonight. I saw 7, 8 guys playing one-on-one basketball against an SEC team that was athletic, big, a former tournament team that was just better tonight.
The amount of easy buckets that they were giving up off screens, coming around the screens, the threes that they were giving up until about the 15-minute mark in the second half when everybody was like, well, this game's pretty much out of hand. Like, there was too many easy buckets. Guy comes around a screen, he's wide open, takes a shot. I mean, they shot 40% from 3.
You're absolutely right. There is one thing that frustrates me more than anything else that I saw tonight, and I'm going to tell you exactly what that is in just a second. But before I do, I want to tell you a little bit about one of our newer sponsors, Desert Financial Credit Union, guys. They're the official retail banking partner of Arizona State University, and for more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. And if you're an Arizona sports fan, there's no better place to do your banking than Desert Financial Credit Union. It's the only place you can show your team spirit every time you make a purchase with exclusive debit cards branded with your favorite teams. Bring the boom and get fired up with the Arizona State University Visa debit card. Now is the time to show your ASU team spirit. Open a free checking account online and get $200 plus your choice of 3 Arizona State University Visa debit cards. Go to desertfinancial.com/ASU to get started. Also, if you're watching tonight's game, look, after that first half, the right thing to do was probably to head to your little mini fridge you have at home, grab a Four Peaks brew, crack it open, slam it, and then go back to your mini fridge to get another one that you could sip on for the second half, because if you were watching the entirety of this game, you probably needed a drink or two, and hopefully it was Four Peaks. I don't know about y'all, but Four Peaks is back with that pumpkin porter season. It's November. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. It's a little too early to be having pumpkin pie, in my personal opinion, so grab yourself a pumpkin porter, and it has the exact same effect, guys. But maybe pumpkin's not your thing. That's okay. They have 1,000,005 different options, hazy, juicy. They got it all over at Four Peaks. Go ahead and visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite brewery tours and events. Check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You do got to be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly.
JJB trying to bring some life into me.
JJ doing God's work. Said Mississippi State Ken Palm 10 defense. Just saying. Yeah, hey man. It's something. It
still
something.
sucks.
It sucks. It's something. Look, I'm gonna tell you what frustrates me more than anything, right? Is the hype I get. The hype I can live with, the hype, all those things I can live with here. What I can't live with again this season, otherwise I'm gonna probably smash my head into a wall, is I can't deal with slow starts anymore. I don't care how good the defense is. This falls a lot on the coaching, I feel like. You have to be able to find ways to score the basketball early. It's the same thing that they do in football, right? You go out there, you have a quarterback that maybe hasn't played a whole lot of snaps, right? You got a backup quarterback. You got a young quarterback out there. What does the offensive coordinator and the head coach do? They scheme open and they call easy dink and dunk plays that are designed to get completions and allow them to get rhythm. exactly. That's what this team needs to do if they are going to be good this season. They're going to have to find an early rhythm, because if they don't, then it's just going to be what we saw. It's absolutely going to be what we saw, and they're going to try and hang their hat on the defense, and the offense is going to be putrid, and you're not going to want to watch it, because that's what it is. If you come out slow, 9 times out of 10, the opposing team is going to take advantage of it, and they're going to go on a run like Mississippi State did. It was something crazy. I think it was like a 30-8 run or something at that point, and you're just going to find yourself behind before you can actually get into any sort of rhythm. By the time you find your feet, you're already down 20, and what good is it, right? Like, it's just simply not good enough. Snello in the chat, is Hurley on the hot seat this year? I don't think so. I don't think he's on the hot seat just based off the fact that they gave him an extension. It's a little early to be saying that they are going to be putting him on the hot seat just after game one. Again, that would be jumping to a conclusion here. Again, I know it is. It's a tough 15-point loss to start the season, but at the end of the day, it is just the very first game. And unlike football, there's a lot of them. There are a lot of opportunities for Arizona State to bounce back, starting with that Saturday game against Texas Southern. We'll get into that, obviously, a little bit later. But side tripping with Carrie, JJB, where is Shane? What is going on? Don't worry, Shane will be back at some point.
Some point.
We're going to be having Eric Ruby coming on here from the time to time. Jacob's obviously going to be helping out. Maybe Ralph going to be joining us from time to time as well. So don't worry, we're definitely going to be keeping things going. And JJ, what? I need a co-host? You don't think I can shoulder the load here? You don't think I can put the team on my back and get us to the promised land? You don't think I can carry us to the what? Dayton? You don't think I can do that? I can carry us to Dayton if we need to get to Dayton, JJ. Just have a little bit of faith. Okay, but let's go ahead, get back to this one, and talk about bottle service. Look, before we get to bottle service, I'm going to give some honorable mentions. Okay, Kamari Lands, 13 points. 4 of those points were free throws. He had 4 boards. Not a bad night for Kamari Lands. This team is going to need more out of him, I think, if they are going to be a force in the Pac-12. Okay. Also, Frankie Collins. Look, I know we talk about it from time to time, him not necessarily needing to be a great scorer, and that's okay. 10 points tonight. He did what he could. Some of those early possessions, though, we can't be settling for those floaters. Literally, the first 2 possessions were just, I wanted to cry immediately because I knew what the outcome was going to be. Just coming off the screen, driving to the basket over a guy 4 inches taller than you. You hit the floater, comes off the rim, it dinks and dunks, and it's not looking good. Okay? I don't want that, but other than that, Frankie Collins, honorable mention, obviously guys in the chat, talking about Zane Meeks, Bryson Long. Look, I think those guys, like everybody in the chat said, need more minutes. I'd like to see Malachi Davis a little bit more as well. But again, still early on in the season, I think those guys will certainly play a little bit more when Texas Southern comes to Tempe on Saturday. But let's go ahead and get into bottle service. Guys, it's none other than me and our lovely producer, Jacob. Jacob, we put in a hell of a night's work. We watched the entirety of that basketball game. We watched the entire 40 minutes of that basketball game. 12 streams of tears, 2 bathroom trips, and 1 big fat L for you and me to sit there and watch that.
There's no better feeling other than me being here from 10 a.m. working on just boatloads of graphics, especially for this show. I mean, I did a lot of stuff for this show tonight, and then they lose by 15, and it doesn't look really all that good.
You put in work today. You put in major work today. JJ in the chat, Selabunge had good minutes. Yeah, Bryant Selabunge tonight. He had 4 points, was 2 of 3 from the field. I'm gonna be honest, I just expected more from this entire team. And maybe that's on me. Maybe I was drinking the Kool-Aid too early, but let's be real, man. Like, there are a lot of really talented guys on this roster, and I think with the right level of chemistry, they can eventually get there. They can eventually be that team that we think that they can be. It's going to take some time. This is what I'll say. This is what you get when the majority of your team is transfers, right? When you don't have a whole lot of time to actually build chemistry. I know the foreign trip was big. I know that Bobby really thought that this team was able to find themselves as a unit across the nation or like across the world, I guess, you got to get on the court and you got to just do it. You got to get on the court and you got to just do it. And I know he's going to get them there, right? The world is not ending. The sky is not falling. It's not over yet. It's going to be okay. It's just week 1, or I guess just game 1. But there is a lot of work to be done if Arizona State is going to be a force in the Pac-12 this season, and not just this season, moving on to the Big 12, right? If you're a Big 12 fan and you watch this game, you turned it off after the first half. Why? You're not worried about the Sun Devils.
There's a lot of people that say that they're going to be bottom of the barrel in that conference.
And you don't want that,
it might, but you don't want it, but it might be the truth. I mean, that is a basketball-heavy conference.
It absolutely is. And that's why this needs to get elevated. You can't necessarily be... You can't start like this. And normally Hurley teams don't start like this. They were 7-1, I believe, in non-conference openers up to this point. They've been good to start the season. We know how good Bobby Hurley teams are in non-conference play. They come to play, okay? This could very well be their only loss when it comes to non-conference play. Time will tell, but like I said earlier, and like I'm going to continue to say, there is a lot of work to be done. Muhammad, facts. These guys don't know how to play together yet. The big part of that is yet. They're going to get there. It's just really tough as an ASU fan, especially with where the football program has been this season, right? It's really, really tough to be like, oh, and then you get hyped for basketball because there's some hope, and then you're like, gotcha. We're not there yet. Gotcha, bitch. That's exactly what that is, right? We had somebody in the chat. What do you think this team can be? I think this team could be a tournament team. Absolutely, I think this team could be a tournament team. Will they get there?